apologies. The stream crashed. Originally. Stream crashed. And now, I'm just going to pull this back up. One second. Just need to do this. Hello everyone. The stream crashed, so here's the second part of it. Alright, we were just talking to Iris, and a psyche lock appeared because obviously I'm finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. It sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again. Oh, Mr. Nick! Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry. This is the loser's shack, where losers get together to lose themselves. Lose yourself. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Look, Mr. Nick. Mr. Maurice did a picture of me. That's, great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way! I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? I don't believe the word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Oh, Mystic Maya. You good? Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? Heh, I got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I going to do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls? Turn it upside down, maybe? I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing. See? Someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know? Oh, I know. It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream. A wonderful fantasy. No. It wasn't a dream. She really flew. I'm telling you, Iris really flew that night. But Mr. Larice... Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg of you! I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck, and I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture. And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face? Maybe turn it upside down? Pearls. Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing, does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Donim's room reading a book together. But Miss Donim was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. How many? 5? Oh, I see. They put it above because she's so tiny. That's cute. I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being... What are you talking about, Pearls? My spiritual power. It has disappeared. What? Her powers have disappeared? What do you mean? What do you mean your power has disappeared, Pearls? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Or a writer who can't write. Hey! What are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps? Maybe because they were being channeled by somebody else? Way to go, Nick! You made her cry! That was really cruel of you! Just as I thought. I'm going to have to break their psyche locks to get the truth out of her. Anyway, let's go talk to Gumshoe now. I wonder if Sister Bikini is back yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. Well, obviously not. She's in love with Edgeworth. You good? Well, what's the damage? How is the sacred cavern? It looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the sacred cavern. But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those trick locks are those of the Curain tradition. We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini. Oh, yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes. You were telling me how the Master of Curain disappeared 17 years ago? I want to know why Misty Face suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the Master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Curain tradition's main family line. I am here to put a stop to them." Someone was trying to destroy the main family line? There is only one heir to the title of Master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. The child becomes the new Master of Curain, and her daughters, the main family. All other mediums become branch family members with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those of the main family line. Family drama, fun. Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? Family feud. You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real. Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. Mostly her older sister, but, you know. During the Mass case. And during Maggie Bird's trial, too. And other cases we won't get into right now because those are from the other games and we don't want to spoil it. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. The Curain technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to commune with the dead. That's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there behind every important leader. Oh no. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. White? You're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. A mistake? What mistake? Misty Faye channeling Gregory Edgeworth, and then him accidentally lying, because he didn't know what happened. That's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is? I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 Incident. That's the name of the file. DL6 Incident. I knew it. DL6, baby! The DL6 Incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago. Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney on that case. Yeah. A murder that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. I do love this visual of Misty sitting in the middle of the symbol. That's very fun. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer, and boy did it backfire, because he had no clue. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother. Though Mystic Misty's channeling the name of a certain man surfaced, armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. That man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Kurain tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media. The public, the judiciary, the people of Kurain Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared. Vanished while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth. Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Kurain tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master wielding the power of the clan... Does she mean Maya? Oh, there's the Kurain theme. Okay, what about Family Feud? The spiritual power of the Kurain channeling technique is in the blood. Maya's told me the exact same thing before. It's a blood technique. We, the women of the Fae clan, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. I guess the Y chromosome cancels it out or something. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Ami, but with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. The ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right, and it's always the cause of tragedy. Oh, that's why the Shishishita, okay. You know, Maya had a sister too. An older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. And lost her life. As a result. Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right. Misty Faye had an elder sister too. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the Master's seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Oh yeah, this bitch. Morgan. There's a name I know well. It was a year ago now at Maya's home, Kurain Village. Everything has been leading up to this! What she did was terrible. It was also she could make her own daughter the next master. Who is Profe. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter. Iris is what?! Is she kidding me?! Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter?! This information will change my life irrevocably. Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have. I know her very well. Oh? Yes, Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child. You jest! That child, she's Mystic Morgan's... I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. She's in prison now, isn't she? Yes. Ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. Wait, what? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. twin sister. What? Twin sister? Oh, didn't you know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. I can imagine. It wasn't many years later that Curate's reputation hit an all-time low, when Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master. He left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him. How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris has a twin sister, then she could channel her, and it wouldn't look different. Ah, I see. And also, yeah, she has spiritual powers, I guess. Could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris' sister? Something like Dolly? I'm sorry, I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Phoenix, what case did you recently read in which a jewel was involved with someone who looks like Iris? Piece it together. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Just fucking get it already. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family. Anger? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband, but even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. That's why she had pearls? It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. He was able to break free of the bars that confined her. So, Iris has a twin sister. I wonder who that could be. The plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. You dumbass. You literally dated her. I need to ask more questions and get some more info. Let's go to the courtyard, baby! Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? Why are they using Kuno's theme? No motive, no crime. No motive, no crime. Sing it with me. No motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room, Curate. Whoop! I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating's all about. The investigator investigates for the love of investigating. It's a passion. Gumshoe. Good cases we have, good cases we've lost along the way. I would never have guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae. I forget what tune that's supposed to be. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal. Huh? Who, me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. So what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgewood. I promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. Looks like a letter or something? Doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? Hey, I'm a defense attorney. Can you give me that letter? So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know if I should be telling you, pal. But I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the Inner Temple Garden. And they're taking that bloody writing on the lantern pretty seriously back at HQ. What? You mean Maya's being suspected for the 3rd time in as many games? I don't have the details, pal. All I know is if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with one ugly situation. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me. I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godot. Godot? What do you mean by that? Anyway, about that letter you found. Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting a gun here trying to find the murder weapon, and all I find is some burnt up old letter. Burnt up old letter? Looks like I can read some of it. Careful, one night should be there. As soon as you hear the lights up bell, you must channel her spirit, leave everything up to her. Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the temple. The incinerator? I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow in the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away, which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I've got it right here if you want to take a look. Can I? Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and master stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. You dumbass. You're literally at a channeling school right now. Spirit mediums? You're literally at a channeling dojo right now. It's gotta be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I better give it a good looking over and some serious thought. Make sure you tuck it in the trash when you're done. Lettering's a crime, pal. It's gonna be evidence. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't the Shishishino that was found impaled on the victim's body. Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today. Yes, that's true. In which case, it must have been another blade. And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah. And man, is it tiring work. But let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. We got the feather of forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? What's the secret weapon, of course? You wanna know? You gotta think scientifically, okay? Right? The murder weapon was a sword. So what do I have in my 3 secret weapons that can detect metal? Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? Any questions so far? No. I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector! Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Let's play forensics expert. Let's go! Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. Alright then, I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget, the absolute best. It's so sensitive, you could make it cry. It's so high-tech you could skydive off it. Oh, bother. No, so now I'm gonna tell you how to use it. Yeah. Let's find this thing. Yeah, move it around. And then X. Yeah. Oddly strange signal here. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Hey, pal, with 2 L's. All you gotta do is watch the detector and let it tell you where that's where, okay? I'm already. I'm not exactly a whiz of machinery, you know. There we go. I just had to move it directly on there. This is Mr. Nim's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood, but the detector is reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic. Isn't the whole point of a metal detector to find metal where you can't see it? It's weird that this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the... The top is coming off! Look what you've done! You've damaged a really important piece of evidence! Ha! Oh. That's, a sword inside the staff. Could this be the murder weapon? I'd never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. And there was a gem on it. It wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. The real scene of the crime was the inner temple garden. And why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe, who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police didn't know about this until I discovered it just now. Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it. I think there's an E. Then I guess this isn't the murder weapon, huh? No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Good job, pal! It's about the same length as the Shishishito, too. This must be the murder weapon. Okay, I'm gonna run over the forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it has been wiped off. I'll get Emma Sky to spray it with luminol. See ya, pal! Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Hold it! Wait up, detective! Huh? What is it, pal? I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know? You're going to get that stuff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while? How? What are you talking about, pal? Please. Just until we find Maya. Maya? What's this got to do with her? I mean, the sword has the victim's blood on it, and then there's the thing where Maya was written in the victim's blood. I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh? How so? Well, look, Maya's trapped inside the sacred cavern right now, and well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. You don't think Maya's been hurt? Please, detective, let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern. You're looking kind of meridian there. Okay, just stop it with that face, pal. One thing, though. This last secret trick. Let's keep it between you and me, okay? Alright? If it gets out that we knew anything about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill stat. You got it? Okay, now you're taking care of it, pal. Thank you, detective. Don't worry. She'll be fine. Gumshoe. You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal? As long as it's not the pasta shop from, the first game. Sure, thanks. I can't help but wonder, though, what was Elise doing doing with stuff like this in the first place? I don't know, to fend off possible murderers? Let's go talk to, Edgeworth. He's probably in the garden. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Hey! Don't you dare run away! What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away! I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris? Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime, that's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman of the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things could have been planted here after the murder. But surely, you don't suspect Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect. Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file. Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before, 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and the Hazakura Temple, and neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father. A jeweler, I think. A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. And you definitely know, because you dated her for 6 months. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Dahlia Hawthorne? Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. It was my first court case, 6 years ago. You must have read over it when you were in the hospital, right? Yeah, I was pretty bored. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. You're talking about Terry Falls, right? You know about that case? You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister? Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood-related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. Oh. This is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out? Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. They're literally sisters. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. That line is just... Edgeworth, buddy. What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? Right. I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Mia Fey? Mia Fey? At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, Wright, and for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. They are literally spirit channelers! Did you not look into that? She's dead, and once someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. No way to revive them, huh? There's no way to revive the dead? I know differently. I wonder. It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fey, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Curain channeling technique. Did you say Curain channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh, yes. I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. They're really driving home the DL6 incident this time, huh? I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stopped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth, go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. I've already fucking defended you in court for a related case. Do you not remember? Of course. How could I forget? They keep drilling it into me. Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday, and then you'll see that the Curain channeling technique is real. Okay, so what about earthquakes? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school. How old were they? Well, they're 26 now. So, they would have been 9. They would have been only 9 years old. Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Oh, DL6 reminiscence track, let's go. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was also a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen, and we passed out. That's what happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. Well, actually, it was 2, but, you know, for people who haven't played the first game, they kind of need to keep it mysterious, so... I lost everything that day, because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now, and that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there! But it was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake. And not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? Let's go back to the training hall. Take that! Okay, let's talk about your dead sister, I guess. I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing all that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakor Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes. That's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. Well, that would be Bikini. Take that! I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini. Her testimony in court today was very clear. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m., I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this. You literally gave me this right before you left. You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Ah! Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Me. You gave me this hood. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright. We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten.
No, that's right. I remember.
And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. There were 2 of you. Someone was channeling your dead sister. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time, which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris.
But that's crazy! How could that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible.
Impossible? I wonder. Impossible? The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise.
You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me.
Well, your fucking sister. Obviously.
Take that!
I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, perhaps, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. Because we dated for 6 months.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it?
I'm sorry. Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground of the Kurain channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. Yeah, who channeled her? Okay. By the way, how are you coming along on those locks?
I was in my room when we made home that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me, who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about? Betrayal! One of the 2 things Phoenix hates. The other is poisoning.
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago. That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path.
So, because she planned that, she was evil.
She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris? Why are they using this theme here?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father. That's awful.
I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell.
Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fair.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was said to inherit all of that that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place. For power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Curain.
That would be Misty Faye, Maya's mother. I hope after all this, if Maya is still alive, she and Iris and Pearls can all hang out as one happy family, hopefully. Or maybe she'll leave the channeling profession and just live a normal life.
But before long, the credibility of the Curain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Faye, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the VL6 incident.
Look at baby Miles.
After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when he came here to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seed stolen from her and being rejected by her own family, I've heard she's been very battered spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I need to go talk to Pearls.
I have asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fae clan.
That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts.
I see. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There's still much to investigate. Leave these thoughts to me. I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock.
Rose's psyche lock.
All 5 of them. Let's go! Heavenly Hall, baby! Look at that! They really did make a fire right in front of the shack.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
You're too late, Nick. You came here for one of our potatoes. We've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Take that! Yo, Pearls, let's talk about that note, maybe. The night of the crime, baby. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Listo Nim's room reading a book together, correct?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go?
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried. I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearls never went to Listo Nim's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls. On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? You went to the Inner Temple to check on your cousin, and there was a note there, and you went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You mean you know?
If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth?
Okay.
You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this. To check on your sister! Take that! It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Well, cousin. Sorry, twins being twins, and relationships. You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course.
I signed you. I signed up for your special course.
Well, my, quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple.
Then we're clear now that you went to the Inner Temple that night, Pros. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
She heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple bell is pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pros, why were you so worried about hearing that bell?
Huh? Oh,
I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. The note that said, "Listen for the damn bell." Take that! You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper?
Where did you...
In the incinerator at the Inner Temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
She's so proud of you. These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? No.
As you can see, a large portion has been burnt, but the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was Dahlia Hawthorne. Take that!
No, wait. Well, Pearls, am I right? I can't channel anyone anymore. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint.
Poor kid. It's really getting her down.
But I've never channeled that person's spirit.
I should have. All the evidence I need, so what am I not getting here? I misclicked. I promise I misclicked. Dahlia Hawthorne, baby! It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. It's just as I suspected. It was an Iris who Sister Bikini met at the Inner Temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. Oh, man, Morgan, forcing... Goddamn. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote the set of instructions for you to follow? It was your mom, obviously. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your mother, Morgan Fay. Alright, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you had any...
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, girls, we both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder, but you're right, there's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it!
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
A simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Take that! It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
What? Why would I do something like...
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Wait, does it actually say that? Use it when you channel her. Yeah, gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
how do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Mr. Nim on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read... Elise is back for like 2 seconds. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, real quick, my mom's gonna come and read these lines again.
Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading.
Ha! Well then, would you like to practice reading with me?
Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word.
Sure, Mr. Nim taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like
gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
Okay, in the original, basically it was like she couldn't read the complicated kanji, and so she accidentally mixed it up and was like, oh, curry! And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right.
Poor Pearls. She... Oh, thank goodness. It heals you after. Yeah. Night of the crime!
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Curain like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow, so I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then,
Girls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple.
Yes. When I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Birch wasn't there anymore, and there was no one. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, and then I heated up the leftover gravy and
let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. Must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep in school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. Alright, so what about your lost powers?
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No, I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it.
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and tried and I tried. Poor Pearl. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time, but I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying to the sky for you.
Whoosh, just like that.
So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yep, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. I know, Larry's the worst! And that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearl's could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. Who else do we know has black hair? And who was in the temple that night?
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter? I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother's gone to a place called a penitentiary?
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month she told me...
The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel.
You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden.
And where was it hidden?
My mother is always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture with her letter, too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. Maybe they were talking while they were eating the rotten potatoes.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? I know that laugh. Hi, Godot. Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. What the hell, man? Godot! The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a friggin' puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. I didn't know anything about what was going on. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all. Final showdown against Godot.
Mr. Nick, Is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
And that... My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child. My Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. Well, damn. And with that ominous message from Morgan Fay, thank you very much for watching. Next time, we will be facing off against Godot in court for the final time. Maybe it'll take 2 sessions. I know this trial section is pretty long. Anyway, thank you very much. And wherever you are,